Hey, and happy Monday. It is August the 11th. We are set to start trial today in Horry and set to finish a trial in Georgetown. Georgetown case I'll have to report back next week. It's a double murder. Ronnie Todd is charged with killing his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend. That is all but done. The judges had to go to a conference at the end of last week, so we were not able to get that in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we should finish it up today, this morning. And I would think that the jury would have that case by today. So we don't have it now, and we'll just report back to you next week. We did start off this week with a murder case. Joe Goss, of course, that pled guilty. Joe Goss was accused of having a flare-up with his ex. She had moved on and was dating someone new, and Mr. Goss went over there to her boyfriend's house. It appears that he may have had a tracker on her car. He pretended to be DoorDash, and when the boyfriend, I think Mr. Robertson, came to the door, he shot through the door multiple times, hitting Mr. Robertson and killing him. He pled guilty last week, received 30 years. That is day for day, so I think Joe Goss is 42 years old now. He should be in his 70s when he gets out, if he gets out, because murder is, again, day for day. He didn't have much of a record, but of course, taking a life that's why that is punished so severely. The victim's family and on both the ex-girlfriend and the family of Mr. Robertson was very pleased with that they didn't have to go to court. But that was our number one case. Our number two case was a hit and run involving death. This is a case that got continued because the defense said that they did not receive the MATE report. MATE is a multi-jurisdictional task force for highway patrol. They come in and recreate accident scenes. Our system keeps up with everything, who views what and when. Anyway, what we show is that MATE report was sent April 17th, 2024, and it was opened on April 17th, 2024. So it does appear that was sent, but anyway, it was continued, and it'll be back up on the trial roster again. Used to, we would get these every time we went to court. Judge, the solicitor didn't send me this stuff. Most of that has been corrected by our new system, where we say, hey, April 17th it was sent, April 17th it was open. In fact, it was opened at 10:05 a.m. You know, that usually lends enough credibility to where the continuance is not granted, but clearly it still happens from time to time. Number three on the trial roster was Mickey McLeod, Jr. For an armed robbery. McLeod pled. McLeod was 21 years old, or is 21 years old. He pled guilty. He got 20 years in prison. Had a ton of comments on social media. What the public probably don't know is that McLeod he was involved in a shooting when he was 15 or 16. We waived him up as an adult because of his part in that shooting. He testified for the state, but he received a most serious offense. Now which is a strike. So had he went to trial on this one, he would have probably gotten life imprisonment without possibility of parole due to his age being so young. Hopefully 20 years will be enough to correct what he's done on this armed robbery. It doesn't help that the victim in the armed robbery, we were going to have to transport him to prison, from prison, to come in and testify. So, you know, I say this all the time. Not all cases, like Mr. Robertson in the Joe Goss case, he had nothing to do with it. The people in the Ronnie Todd case, they were true victims. But a lot of times it's not like the cowboy movies. There's not a lot of white hats. Sometimes those hats are gray and darkening gray, charcoal gray. And sometimes they're just black hats. And Mickey McLeod was wearing a black hat on this day. And the person that he robbed probably had on a gray hat, a dark gray hat. But anyway, it was enough to get Mickey McLeod 20 years. And hopefully, when he does get out, he will have learned from that, and he will have 2 strikes on his record. So anything would be life at that point. Alicia Hamilton, she pled to possession with intent to distribute crack and trafficking in fentanyl, and she received 15 years. That was suspended to 4 years probation. She pled straight up to that. There was no mandatory minimums, and that's what she got on the drug charges. We did dismiss a possession of contraband case, but the rest of it was a straight up plea, and she got probation. Shamir Carr, he had trafficking in fentanyl, under 28 grams. He pled to PWID. He received 8 years. He also received 5 years on a pistol charge and 3 years, which was the maximum, on a failure to stop for a blue light. And those sentences will run concurrently. So he got 8, 5, and 3 on the drug charges and the rest of it. We also moved case number 6 by way of a plea. It was domestic violence, and that pled guilty. Samuel Smith, number 7, pled under North Carolina v. Alford. We'll talk about at length at some point in one of these. It's basically a guilty plea without saying I did it, but that was for burglary, and Mr. Smith got 4 years, 4.5 years for the burglary, on a burglary nonviolent. There's 2 other cases that should resolve themselves today, but that is the trial roster. Tracy Alston is still up for a shoplifting charge if that goes forward, and Kadifa Graham is up for assault and battery second, a lower level assault type case. But all in all, successful week. Out of the 9 cases that said they wanted, that we tied up a trial spot for, 8 of them have pled, and 1 of them was continued. So, and honestly, I don't think that should have been continued. But either way, like Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, 8 out of 9 ain't bad. We'll continue to try to pursue this, and we'll be back next week to let you know what happened with the Ronnie Todd case. Have a great week.